I want to bring back for reconsideration the denial of the at Dublin project. To be very clear, I'm not interested in re-engaging about the presented project as it was. I don't want to bring it back for reconsideration of approval. What I'd like to do is bring back for future discussion that we reconsider the manner by which we denied the project. So we denied it without prejudice. I mean, with prejudice. I'd like us to have a discussion about what it means to deny it without prejudice. It was very late at night and we had a very long meeting. And I don't think I had a very firm grasp on what exactly we were directing staff with that vote. I've since had discussions with staff and with the owner's agent about how we can best proceed on these parcels. My, personal feelings and opinion on how we need to move forward remain the same. I believe we need to engage in a robust community engagement effort to re-envision the plan for the parcels. And that would require us potentially to contract a consultant to hold multiple planning sessions and put together a plan and report. If we continue with a denial without prejudice, then we can re-engage with the applicant and then allow them, I believe, to bear the cost and burden of ensuring that process is successful so that we can move forward with that plan. At an agendized item, we can provide clear guidance to staff on how we'd like to proceed in that engagement effort with the applicant and the community and to move forward with a new plan.
Okay, so that's a request for reconsideration of item voted on before. Mr. Bacher, is that what's the process for that? That can be done with the concurrence of.
Yeah, what he's asking for you all to do tonight is to add an item to the agenda in the future for a future meeting for you to consider a reconsideration motion that would be forthcoming. And I think it would be limited specifically to considering whether or not to deny without prejudice. It wouldn't include an approval, so we wouldn't have to renotice that, and it can be done in a single meeting.
Do we have to name a date certain?
You do not.
Okay. What is the rest?
I just want to clarify really quick with Sean or Councilmember Kumagai. So you want to bring it back so that there's a possibility for it to be turned around to be able to move forward and change the vote, possibly for it to be with prejudice.
Well, we denied it.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, we denied it with prejudice. I'd like us
without prejudice,
or to consider and discuss what it means to deny it without prejudice.
So you just want to have the discussion.
Yeah, I mean, we would have to vote on it at that meeting about, how we want to move forward. But in my discussions with staff and the applicant, it sounds like that's the best way to move forward with my goal to kind of re-envision those parcels.
With staff or with the developer?
Well, I think it would include all stakeholders, and we can provide that guidance, at the future agendized meeting. But my druthers is that that it would involve a very robust community engagement piece.
Any item that we agendize and discuss would allow for public comment, and so whether the applicant appeared as a member of the public or as a party to the discussion of whether they would be willing to bear costs, as Councilmember Kumagai mentioned, they would likely be in the meeting. Obviously, they'd have to be.
So wouldn't, if a new developer came in, commercial developer besides Shay, let's just say somebody else, wouldn't they bear the cost?
Mm-hmm.
So in terms,
we're getting into a point of discussion, I think.
I was just going to mention
whether
that.
we should discuss without prejudice or with prejudice. I'm willing to have that conversation. What do others think? Councilmember Josie, Vice Mayor Bell.
I'm fine with it. I thought it was a bad idea to dismiss with prejudice in the first place because it burdened the city. So I'm fine supporting Mr. Kumagai's item 9.
Vice Mayor Goel.
I think right now for me, I'm not very open to that. I think we went through a long deliberation. It appeared that everyone understood their actions and their vote. So I'm not sure on the pertinence.
Councilmember Hernandez, any other thoughts? Did you support bringing it back for discussion of the method of denial, or would you rather not?
No. And I don't necessarily agree with the fact that the city would be held responsible for all the fees for any study session, because every single time I do believe that the developers paid for that.
All right. Well, I think we have 3 that have agreed to at least discuss. We didn't say when, but we'll work that out with staff. Fair enough?
Yes.
Kumagai, anything else that you have to bring for discussion?
No, that's it.
All right.
Point of clarity on bringing back an item, doesn't it have to be the majority of that voted in favor of?
The rule is simply that the only people that can make a motion for reconsideration are those in the majority. And so Councilmember Kumagai is prepared to make the motion for reconsideration. In fact, tonight, he's not even doing that. He's just asking to have an item brought back in the future where he could then possibly make a motion for reconsideration. So it's simply just a asking.
He's not even making a motion tonight. This is just, yeah, right?
Just to bring it on the agenda.
Right.
Understood. Thank you.